call the Board of Aldermen meeting to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and welcome to the Board of Aldermen's meeting for Monday, March 2nd. First order of business is minutes of the previous meeting. We have February 18th and February 26th.
Move to approve.
Are there any corrections? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. We are outside the rail for anyone to address the board on matters not on the agenda. Is there anyone outside the rail? Yes, sir, your name and address for the record, please.
Charles Joyson, 210 Lincoln Avenue. Work on implicit bias is not easy and must be undertaken seriously and assiduously for this to be effective. It requires forethought, introspection, and reflection. If the training is to work, it can't be treated as a minor discomfort that can be winced through and easily forgotten, as one might treat a shot. Additionally, as it pertains to the nature of interactions between the board and the public, it seems self-evident that the board ought to consider some manner of interface with the public. These things being said, I would like to recommend the board hold implicit bias trainings at least once a year. And I would like to thank the board for the work that it has already undertaken, and while remembering that this work is about better serving Rutland, I look forward to seeing how the training affects their decisions going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else outside the rail to address the board on matters not on the agenda? Seeing none, we're on to communications from the mayor, Mayor Allaire.
So good evening, everyone. I just had one quick thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and that is what's on everybody's mind is the coronavirus. I had an opportunity to speak with Claudio Fort this afternoon, who is the CEO of the Rutland Regional Medical Center, and I want to give you my takeaways from that conversation. No one has tested positive here locally or at our RMC as of this date for the coronavirus. The hospital, I've been told, has been gearing up for several months about the eventuality of this showing up locally. Protocols are in place for anyone who may present, may be presenting, including and but not limited to, beginning with an interview process with anyone coming in with symptoms, to talk about those symptoms, obviously talk about the travel history during the interview process. If there is a testing regimen that's being contemplated, the hospital has to reach out to the state health department to get authorization from them in order to go ahead with the test. If the person is tested, it's done at the hospital, the test goes down to the CDC, and that takes 5 days to turn that those test results around. Again, I want to re-emphasize, no one here locally has tested positive. As we have read, the most vulnerable are those with underlying medical conditions, also the very young and the very old. So again, the advice that I received from Claudio and the Rutland Regional Medical Center, and this may sound redundant, but I'm going to repeat it, is frequent hand washing. That can't be emphasized enough. Frequent hand washing. This virus lives for a long time on surfaces, and it is easily transmitted. If you are sick, please stay home and until you are feeling better. So I guess the best advice for everyone is just use common sense. There's absolutely no reason to be concerned about this. I think things are being put in place. Certainly use good judgment as you're going about your daily lives. And one last thing, we have opened up a direct line of communication, which was always open, but now we are going to do it on a regular basis with the Rutland Regional Medical Center and our myself and our health officer in order to find out on a regular basis about any new information that's coming along. But again, the hospital has put in protocols. They have systems in place, and I think we are positioned as best we can.
Any questions of the mayor? Alderman Mattis?
Yep.
If people have questions, what is the best way of getting those questions answered?
So I would say a phone call to the Vermont Department of Health. They are the ones that are overseeing the testing of individuals, and they are the ones that are authorizing the testing at the local hospitals around the state. So a phone call up to them, they would be able to give you as much information as anybody here locally.
No, thank you, Mayor Lair.
Well,
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Seeing none. We're on to reports and letters from department heads and officials. We have Recreation Superintendent Peters. I'm just going to state Treasurer Markowski has pulled the treasurer's report. So we have Recreation Superintendent Peters with a recreational update.
So a few things, and I'm going to start actually with two quick stories that happened today at the Rutland Rec Community Center. Every day something's happening. Every day I hear great stories. But today I opened up at 8 o'clock, and a gentleman by the name of Bill Daner, he's 58 years old, wanted to share some really cool news with me. He's been working out at the rec center since we've opened. He's due for 2 knee replacements. Since he's been coming, he walks about 2 to 3 miles a day. He went to see his doctor, and his not only is his pain decreased, his blood pressure has gone down, his weight has gone down, and he attributes that all to the rec center. So it's a great story. We hear those every day, but today was just a great one to hear. The other one that we heard was a little bit different. We had a mom come in to register for some activities, and she said, Kim, I need to share something with you. My son is in 8th grade at the middle school. He is in a program where he is there because of his behaviors. Last year he had over 200 referrals to the behavioral room. These last 5 months he's been coming to the rec center. Dakota Peters, Duran Richardson, 2 boys that work at the rec center, have kind of taken him under his wing with no instruction from us. In fact, I didn't really know too much about it. I knew Keegan was hanging out at the rec quite a bit. But he has volunteered at the rec center. He helped with the instructional basketball tournament this week. And since he has started these last 3 months with Duran and Dakota, he has not been sent to the behavioral room, and she truly believes it's because he has activities now to do after school. And so those were 2 things that happened today. It happens every day. I've shared some with our department heads, but today was one of those days that just hit it. I could go on and on for more, but I wanted to start with that today because it was such an inspiration that we have. We know what exercise and health and social activity does for the community, and not only the health of people, but the economic. They're going to be out, they're going to be doing stuff. So we're seeing that every day, and I just wanted to share those 2 stories. With that being said, our program guide came out. Summer camp registration started today, and our credit card machine decided not to work today, so that was awesome. But we'll be back on track in the next couple days. There is an ad in there. We put some stuff in there about the rec center and all the camps. We're not adding a whole lot this year. Same, our 10-week programs, our preschool camps, our sport camps, aquatics. So some of the programs will move to the center, but we're kind of waiting again for the lease to be reinstated. So with that, I just want to do a quick update on the lease and where we're at, and it is very quick, and feel free to ask questions. But as you saw in the paper, the deed was transferred to Heritage. This is hopefully going to speed up our process. You know, the other reason why we are so successful there at the rec is also because of the support we've had. The conversations I've had with the Board of Aldermen, the mayor, community members, but I just want to also just put a huge thank you out to the current Board of Aldermen that we currently have that have taken a risk, and it has definitely paid off. So, you know, we are continually working on what that next step is. And believe me, in a given day, I probably get asked 10 to 20 times because the people that are coming to the rec, especially in the morning, are the active seniors, the ones that are reading the paper, the ones that are voters, the ones that want to know, and the ones that are coming. So just real quick, financially, we're doing really well as far as our revenue. Some of it was unexpected. I talked in the very beginning, we weren't really looking at a monthly rental. We are doing that, but we have done that. So for the last 4 months, we have collected $15,000 in miscellaneous revenue, so that is the monthly memberships. Overall, we've collected, our revenue is at $51,000. I expect it to be about $55,000, probably a little bit more after our 5 months is complete. As far as our expenses, this includes seasonal staff. We do have to have our seasonal staff there for the evenings and the weekends. We're at $94,000 now. I estimate about $120,000 for the month, for the end of this month. $25,000 of that is attributed to the heating system that we had to fix, which you were all aware of and supported when we came in to do that. So that's the update. And we're about, for last month, we hit just about 400 members, and we'll be well on our way to that again this month. In the future, we're not, until the lease is signed, until we can move forward with that, we're not exchanging any money in April. Rentals are waiting anxiously and patiently to move on. We do already have AAU teams that are going to practice there in the month of March because high school practices are complete. The girls varsity Rutland team is moving on, but they have a bye the first game, so all the high school games are completely done at the rec. So
Great.
That is
Thank
it.
you. Any questions of Superintendent Peters? Thank you very much. We're moving on to reports of standing committees, select committees, representatives. All righty. We are on to petitions, letters, and miscellaneous communications. We have Samsung request for preferred site designation. We have some representatives here from Samsung. So what's your pleasure? Would you like to hear? This is what I believe Alderman Reveal requested, that we revisit Mr. Coughlin's site. And maybe you could speak to that for us as well. I know that we have he's doing an additional 100 solar arrays on the site. Those could be designated preferred, correct?
Well, should I?
Please, and your name and just address, sir.
Marlene Allen, representing Same Son of Vermont. Well, my address
That's
is
fine.
2523 East Pittsford Road in Rutland Town. So we were actually approached by Ms. Davis to revisit this site. As you know, we had asked for this designation about a year ago. We ended up, we never really got a response. I guess you didn't have a real definition of preferred site. So we proceeded with the application with the Public Service Board, and we were able to use a preferred designation based on the fact that 50% of the generation of the array would go to the on-site business, CV motorcycle.
Good.
But as I explained last time, Mr. Coughlin really wants as much power as he can get to go to his McDonald's restaurants in Rutland. So having a preferred site designation would remove the constraint that half of the power has to go to the motorcycle shop, would allow him to send a little bit more to the McDonald's restaurants. So because of that, because the idea of getting this designation was made to us, we had proposed expanding the array. It would be pretty minor. So I don't know if people can see this. What is in black is what's existing. And we would be adding the 2 rows in orange that you see here would be the maximum that would be allowed while still adhering to all the setbacks that are required by the commission and by fire code. In order to in order to be, you know, an electrically sound system and stay with the configuration of the AC capacity of the system, I think we would be adding only this one row to the array if we were to get this designation.
Alderman Gillum, you have a question?
I'd like to suspend the rules and take the matter up tonight.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of suspending the rules, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Alderman Gillum? And I believe it would be just to authorize the chair to sign.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any debate on that motion? Alderman Humphrey?
A couple of things. I'll be abstaining from voting on this, but I'm curious, what's the total capacity of the system?
150.
And,
KW.
so the vote tonight is, to make the entire project a preferred site and change the original decision, or just the additional?
Only the site itself can be made preferred. So it would be.
So it would be the
It
entire-
would be the entire project
the
would be
entire project.
considered
Right.
as
Okay.
preferred.
This
And,
would still have to go back to the regional planning and city planning to sign off as well.
okay. and
Correct,
then-
it's
and
a
the
joint
public,
letter
so-
that has to be signed by the Board of Aldermen, the Planning Commission, and then the Rutland Regional Planning Commission. And then we have to file an amendment with the Public Utility Commission.
Right, okay, and then
Get
that
all
would make the,
preferred.
that would be for the entire, okay. And then one more, so, thank you, what is if the total capacity is the 150 KW, what's the additional, like, what's the new part of that?
I think it's about 40
Okay,
KW. So the existing array, we built it as a 150. A little bit undersized on the DC side with
Oh, so
the
you're adding
idea that
panels.
it
oh,
could possibly be expanded in the future. So about 40 KW is the most that can be added and still maintain that
with the,
ratio.
got it, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Alderman Torrey?
Thank you. So did I hear you say that because 50% of the power is going to Central Vermont Motorcycle, it has been declared a preferred site?
Correct.
And so our declaration of a preferred site, is there a different in the definition of preferred site?
Well, there's, and I had handed out last time the Public Utility Commission definition of preferred site, and it had about 9 different criteria. One of which is that 50% of the power remain on site. There were some others, like, you know, if it's a landfill or a quarry, you know, something like that. But then the final definition, which was added to give towns some say, and if there was a piece of land that, you know, kind of qualified in spirit, but not necessarily according to one of those criteria, it allowed the town or the municipality to designate the site as preferred.
I guess so.
So,
If we vote in the affirmative here that it's a preferred site, it isn't changing anything about it being a preferred site anymore. It's just now that he can use his electricity at his other
correct,
locations.
correct.
No change in preferred site, huh?
No,
Just
and again, it has no weight as
Right.
far as zoning or land use goes, other than this one specific use.
Anyone else? Alderman Gillum?
I think we should vote for this because Mr. Coughlin is a big taxpayer here in town. He's improved his properties. He's done everything we wanted him to do for the economic stability of this community. All his properties are in great shape. He's put a lot of money into them, and I think we should help him out. I think we should vote for this.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, if the motion, excuse me.
I just wanted to mention that Mr. Coughlin is on vacation, otherwise he would probably be.
Good for him.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to authorize the chair to sign. Is there any further debate on that motion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And that, as I said, you'll have to get in touch with city and regional planning for their signatures as well.
Correct.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Next up is the special events permit request summer series at the Cupboard. What's your pleasure? Alderman Mattis.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Can I just, so are you going to sign that and then pass it on to planning?
We can, is that all right with you, to we'll sign it and pass it on. Can you move it on to the planning, or?
I don't know if I have an official copy, I just have what papers were there.
Right, we have what was faxed to us. I don't know if you have an official copy. I'm sorry, Alderman Mass, we'll get back to your motion. So I just want to check with the clerk, though, to make sure that that's,
That's what I,
so on the back is Rutland Planning and Regional Planning, and then here is ours.
Yep.
Okay, and then, so you'd be all set moving it on to the Planning Commissioner?
I think she would move it on to the planning
Okay.
commission.
That's what I think. Yeah, and I can sign it right now here for you, okay?
It's government in action. Good government. This is local government. Local government.
Ready?
State wouldn't even do that. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to suspend the rules with the summer series at the cupboard.
Who seconded?
Alderman
second.
Madden, oh, okay, Alderman Gillum. Thank you. All those in favor of suspending the rules, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. What's your pleasure?
And I move the board approve the special event permit application for the summer series at the cupboard at 65 River Street to be held July 2nd from 7 PM to 7:45 PM, July 22nd at 7 PM, August 5th at 7 PM, and August 20th at 7:45 PM.
We have a second. Second. Any debate on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. We have nothing under the Board of Control Commissioners. Is there any unfinished business to come before the board? If not, is there any miscellaneous motions, resolutions, new business to come before the board? Alderman Clifford.
I'd just like to take this time to wish all the candidates for Alderman tomorrow good luck.
Thank you. Same to you. Any other miscellaneous motions, resolutions, or new business? Seeing none, a motion to adjourn.
So
would be in
moved.
order.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.